Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name's Craig Neeson. This is Craig Neeson Photography. I'm out here with a couple other YouTubers again this morning. There's Shawn right there. His wife Corinne is down there somewhere. We're all photographing this beautiful formation of rock. It looks more like a pinnacle. I don't think it's really a mesa. It doesn't classify that way. We got a little bit of morning light. We're at Palo Duro Canyon State Park again this morning. Gates open about 7 o'clock, so we couldn't get in here for true sunrise. But down in the canyon, you're not going to have that light right away anyway. We've got some high clouds off to the east, and we got some clouds that keep moving past the formation that we're actually photographing. So let's see what we take away from this location this morning. So we got a little bit of a different video this week for you. This time, I decided in the field, and I'll talk to you about this in the field in just a little bit, that I'd take a variety of focal lengths of the same composition. Basically what I did is I took my 24 to 85 kit lens and I set it at each of the marked focal lengths on the lens. So basically what I did is made a photograph here at what was marked at 24 millimeters on the lens. You got the raw on the left and the processed on the right. And I'm going to show you 4 more of these. Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird. A lot of talking here, and I might lose my voice. So let's see how far I get. I did like the way the process photo finally turned out. The raw in the field was really flat. The sky was a little bit too hazy for me, so I did some dehazing there. Have you ever tried this kind of experiment when you're out in the field and you just don't feel it? That's one of the reasons why I did it. This one here was shot with the lens set at its marking for 35 millimeters. It turns out that the metadata told me that the lens was actually at 34 millimeters. Here's the raw. Notice how we eliminated a little bit more of that bush. I actually like this composition just a little bit better when it's tight like this, or tighter like this. There again, I had to dehaze the sky just a little bit to get the blues to pop back out. You could probably achieve the same thing with using a polarizer in the field or a neutral density filter, but I tend to like leaving my images unaltered in the field as much as possible, and then doing the work in post. So that's shot number 2 of composition number 1. Here's shot number 3. Shot number 3 was shot at 50 millimeters on the lens, and oddly enough, this one actually shows up as 50 millimeters in the metadata. Yeah. So I guess it could be the labeling on the lens, or it could be I was just a hair off of center on those labels. Here's the raw and the process side by side for the 50 millimeter shot. I like this one the best. It seems to have the best balance so far. Let me know if you've ever done this type of experiment, and if you've ever noticed that your focal length on your lens, the label on the lens, does not match that of your metadata. Be curious to know how many other lenses are like this, where, you know, the 25 is right, the 35 is not quite right, and the 50 is right on. So this one was shot at 70 millimeters according to the lens. The metadata has it at 68 mil. I'm not going to harp on that any longer. I don't care for the dead brush look in the foreground. This is not a very appealing photograph. And no matter what you do in post, this one is not going to make the portfolio. Most of these won't. This was really just a test to see what focal length would do with rethinking my compositions and choices in the field. Here again, I had to dehaze the sky just to get the sky to look the way I wanted it to. By this time, it looked like the light had shifted a little bit too much, and we were losing any hope of getting anything that was going to be epic. So this is the last shot of this composition. This one was shot at 85 millimeters according to the lens. According to the metadata, it was 85 millimeters as well. This one I actually like better than the 70 or 68 millimeter version because it gets rid of some other elements. I still don't care for that dead tree in the foreground. Maybe if it was a different angle, or maybe if it had something on it of interest, it would be better. Not my favorite. So here again, in post, I had to do a bunch of stuff in the sky, and I didn't do any cloning out of anything that was a distraction. I usually don't do that. I'm more of a, this is what it was in the camera, and bring it back to what I thought or felt like in the field. Here's all 5 together. Tell me which one of them you would choose if you were shooting this landscape. Let's get the discussion going. So for this outing, I took a page out of Chris Sales' playbook. Recent video, he talked about taking a photograph at every focal length on your barrel of your lens. I did that a couple times at 2 different composition points here in Palo Duro Canyon State Park on this beautiful rock formation behind me. And it actually made me rethink some of my compositional choices. So thanks, Chris, for giving us all that hint, and I'll leave a link to his video up in a card above and down below, so you guys can go check that out if you haven't already done that. Hop over there and subscribe to his channel. He is loaded with lots of helpful advice on his channel, and he's a great mate. And show him some love and support. So here's the second photo from this morning. I think I've actually got 3. I'm gonna go check out this other composition before the sun gets a little bit too high. And then I'm gonna check in with Shawn and Craig and see how they're making out today. So once more, we're gonna go through 5 different focal length photographs of the same composition. There's some things I like about this one at 24mm. I like the tree on the right. I don't like my time-lapse camera being in frame on the left side. I'm okay with Craig from Travels of Red Rover being in the frame. I like those environmental portraits, if you haven't noticed. Here again, I had to do some dehazing and some work in the sky. I love the light quality on the geologic formation that we were all shooting that morning. And it's not a bad photograph. It's just not the best photograph. So that's shot number 6. It's composition number 2's 24mm shot. So here is the 35mm shot according to the lens, but it's 33 in the metadata. I don't know. I tried to center it each time. Here we eliminated the tree on the right mostly, and we definitely got rid of the time-lapse camera there. We still have the photographer in the wild in this composition. Again, I had to do some post-processing in the sky to bring back the blues, otherwise it was just a little bit too blown out for my tastes. I'll tell you, this was quite the exercise in the field. Finding the composition, then taking that same composition at 5 different focal lengths for this 24 to 85mm lens. I kind of liked it. This is not my favorite. Then again, I've said none of these are really portfolio worthy. This was really about the experience out in the field, trying something new, just to motivate myself to think differently. Here is the 50mm from the lens, and again, it matched up with the metadata. I think it's just the labeling isn't perfect on the lens, and you're never going to get that perfect thing. Here we've almost eliminated the tree, which if I was going to try to do something with this as a print, I would actually clone out the branches in that upper right-hand corner. Yeah, I think it'd make it a better photograph. You've got some blues in the sky, you got some cloud action going on, you got that gorgeous shadow line there. I would definitely clone out the camera bag. If there was a photographer there, it'd be more impactful to the image. What do you guys think? Let me know. And here is the 70mm in the field. It also turned out to be 70mm in the metadata. Yeah, kind of crazy. I kind of like this one. You get rid of all those distractions except for the camera bag. Can you find that camera bag? Yeah, I can. But of course, I've seen it thousands of times by now. So here again, had to do some post-processing in the sky to get the colors back. And I think I did do some dodging on that camera bag a little bit. But it's still there. Yeah, had to do some dust removal as well. This is maybe, if I had to choose one that was just taken right, this is probably the one that I think is the best from just doing it in the field. Let me know what you think. And here's the last one, the 85 millimeter, and my voice is really starting to go. It has that gravelly voice that I used to love when I did radio. That was a different life. I do like this one the best. It removes all of the distractions, the bag that's sitting there without a photographer, which would have made it an awesome shot in my mind. It gets rid of the trees. And it decreases the amount of sky in the image, because by this time, the sky was way too strong. No matter what I did in post, I could not bring back enough blue to make it feel like it did earlier in the morning. All in all, I enjoyed this little project of testing different focal lengths to see what my composition would be with the rethinking. Here are all 5 of the shots for composition number 2. Let me know which one you like the best and why. And here's that last composition that I alluded to in the field. The light had pretty much drifted away. It was a really flat image. In post, I had to do some real hard work. I made a square crop out of it and did a little bit of vibrance, a little dodge and burn. Let me know what you think of this. It's a little nod to Ben Horn. I've probably been watching a little too much Ben Horn lately, to tell you the truth. But I do like this type of composition from time to time, especially when the epic landscapes aren't so epic. Well, it was kind of a beautiful morning while it lasted. It was a really short period of light, wasn't it, Shawn?
It was really, really short. The light was sort of not quite there and gone in about a split second.
Yeah, and a little bit of their time, the clouds were a little bit, there were too many clouds for me.
It was too smeared.
Yeah.
It's like smeared sky, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I like either some stratification or, something that makes it interesting.
I needed a little bit more blue in there when the light was perfect on the rock formation, but other than that, it's a gorgeous morning to get out. It's actually getting a little too hot for the fleece, so I'm gonna have to shed that layer.
Yeah, and of course Craig and I are in this teeny little notch right now trying to avoid the wind, so
yeah
that was also a challenge this morning.
Yeah, and I think it actually has picked up since the sun got higher.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely
probably get stronger the rest of the day. So if you made it this far, and well, wait, actually, Shawn, I was gonna ask you, so did you get one?
Yeah, I got an okay shot.
Okay. I don't think I got anything.
Oh.
We'll see.
Sorry, yeah, you never know.
Yep, never know. If you made it this far, you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button, ding the bell for future notifications, give us a big thumbs up. Head on over to Shawn and Craig's channel, Travels of Red Rover. I'll leave a link down below and a card up above. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Until next time, bye for now.